I'm going to show you how to scale your KDP business, and I'm not quite sure why no one has already taught you this. There's so many KDP people out there, so many KDP gurus, but no one is explaining the business side of KDP from a business perspective. I want to show you something that's never been shown before on YouTube. If you understand the concepts in this video, you're going to be able to scale your business much quicker, much faster, much more effectively, and much cheaper than everyone else. And here's exactly how you do it. Let's say this is a bucket. In this bucket, it's just full of water and there's little holes down here, and the water drips from these holes. You see, water can drip from here. It doesn't look the best, but you get the point. Now, under this bucket, what your job is to collect as much water as possible. So you have this smaller bucket underneath, which collects some of the water. Okay, some of the water goes in, but some of the water falls out because the bucket is not big enough to collect all the water. Now, what are these buckets? Well, first of all, this big bucket are your impressions. Your impressions are basically the amount of times your book popped up on someone's screen. If I search for a dog coloring book and a dog coloring book comes up, that dog coloring book got an impression from me. Whether I click on it, whether I even noticed it, as long as it popped up on my screen, it got an impression. So your book is going to get a bunch of impressions. Now, all these droplets of water, they're your customers. They're all your impressions. This bucket here is your click-through rate, which basically means how many people from all of these impressions actually clicked on your book. In other words, how much water did you collect from the impressions? So a bunch of people are going to see your book, but only a few of them are actually going to click on your book. The water that you collect in here are the people that actually click on your book. But guess what? There's another bucket, because this also drips down water, and you have an even smaller bucket down here. And this is going to drip water, and you're going to collect some water, but you're going to miss out on a bunch of other little droplets of water. So you get a bunch of impressions, which means your book pops up a bunch of times on someone's screen. Now, out of all those bunch of times, I don't even know if that's English, but out of all those times that your book pops up on someone's screen, some of them are going to click on your book. So these are your clicks, also known as the water that you're collecting from these guys. Now, from these clicks, your clicks also have little holes underneath it. Your click bucket also has little holes underneath it. And it's your job to collect these clicks. Now, once you collect the clicks, you need to turn these clicks into conversions. So this is your conversion rate, the little bucket. Now, there's something special about the conversion rate bucket, because the conversion rate bucket has little strings underneath, and it has a little plate here, and this also drips down water. All the water that drips on the plate is the amount of money that you make. So the more water you can collect in your conversion rate bucket, the more money you make. That's the simplest way of explaining the overall business. But I know this looks all messed up, but here's why it's actually important. Let's say you wanted to scale your business. You wanted this plate to collect more water, to make more money. What could you do? Well, one thing you can do is you can poke more holes in the first bucket. So I can poke even more holes here. If I poke more holes, more water will drip, and I can collect more from my clicks. So I can increase my impressions. Super simple. If you increase your impressions, you automatically increase the amount of clicks. Let's say you have 10,000 impressions. Now, out of those 10,000 impressions, not everyone is going to convert into a click. So let's just say 500 people converted into a click. This is your smaller clicks bucket, your click-through rate. Now, out of these 500 people that actually clicked on your book, not everyone is going to convert into a customer, but some of them will. So let's say 50 of them converted into a customer. So 50 is your final bucket, which means these are the amount of sales you made. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that everyone is making is thinking that if you want to increase the amount of sales, all you have to do is increase this number right here, the amount of impressions. And that is correct, but it's the worst thing you can do. I'm going to show you why right now. This coffee is good. So if these are your impressions, this is your click-through rate, and this is your conversion rate. Let's say if you have 10,500 clicks, you have a click-through rate of 5%, because 5% of 10,000 is 500. So your click-through rate is 5%, which means your conversion rate is 10%, because 10% of the people that clicked on your book actually bought your book. Okay, you see, this is the same diagram. Water is falling from here, some of it is collected here, some of it goes in here, and you get the point. But anyway, everyone seems to think you just have to increase your impressions and you'll increase your sales. And that is correct, but I'm going to show you why it's the worst thing you can do. Okay, so imagine these are your ads. Okay, you're running ads and this is what they look like. You get 10,000 impressions this month, you get 500 clicks, and you get 50 sales. These are all from ads. Let's say you spend $1 for every click. That's your cost per click. Just to make the math super easy. That means for you to get 500 clicks, you spend $500. Correct? Correct. Well, what happens if you bump up your ads so you can scale your business? Well, here's what happens. Let's say you get 20,000 impressions because you ran better ads or whatever. Because we doubled this number right here, everything underneath it automatically doubles. So now you're getting 1,000 clicks because you're still at a 5% click-through rate. A 5% click-through rate is 1,000 clicks, and those 1,000 clicks turn into 100 sales because your conversion rate is 10% still. That's how it was before. There we go, 5% click-through rate, 10% conversion rate. Well, you might be saying, oh yeah, that's great. Now I have 100 sales. But guess what? Now you've spent $1,000 in ads. So you didn't actually scale your business. You just spent more on ads. So if you're making $5 profit for every sale, that means your 50 sales bring you $250 in. So now you're losing $250 from ads every month. If you just decide to bump up your ads, then now you're spending $1,000 and you're still making $5 profit for every sale. Now 100 sales are making $500. So now you're not down $250 every month. Now you're down $500 a month because you just keep increasing your ad spend because you think your ad spend is going to scale your business. Your ad spend is not going to scale your business. It's actually going to make it a lot worse. And you can see here, I just doubled my net loss by increasing my ads. I did double my sales, but I'm losing way more money on ads, which is why most of you think that ads don't work, but ads do work. And I want to show you what you're actually supposed to do now. So the reason you're scaling this wrong is because you're working backwards. It might seem like you're working forwards, but you're actually working backwards. What do I mean by this? Well, check this out. This is your bucket. What you're trying to do is you're trying to increase the size of this bucket, or increase the amount of water that drops from this bucket. That's completely wrong. Leave this as it is, because what happens if you increase this bucket first? If you increase the size of this bucket from here to here, now your bucket is much bigger. So now it can collect more impressions. Now you didn't spend more money on ads to get more impressions, to get more exposure. You just simply increased your click-through rate. Here's what it actually looks like. So 10,000 impressions at 500 clicks is a 5% click-through rate. If our click-through rate was 7% instead of 5, then now we get 700. That's a 7, by the way. And even if the conversion rate is still 10%, now we get 70 sales. So we got 20 extra sales from increasing our click-through rate. We didn't mess with the impressions, didn't mess with the ads. We just simply increased our click-through rate by either making our cover slightly better or getting slightly more reviews. But the cover is more important for your click-through rate than reviews are. This can be something as small as a font change. I have clients come up to me and I tell them, if you change your font, your click-through rate is going to go up. And they don't believe me because they don't understand the significance of their book cover. So your book cover is so important. Even a slight font change can increase your click-through rate if you do it correctly. In the program, I tell you all my secrets about book covers, and all of the things that I talk about work and will give you a really high click-through rate. But here's the best part. I haven't even told you the best part yet. If you can increase this bucket to collect more water, guess what else you can do? You can increase this bucket. Now this bucket, your conversion rate bucket, is actually the most powerful bucket, because sometimes you're going to have a book cover and your book cover is just going to be really good anyway, if you do everything correctly. So if your book cover is amazing, there isn't actually any room to grow. But with your conversion rate, there's always room to grow. So if you can increase this bucket, you automatically increase the amount of money you make. Let me show you. So the same amount of clicks, 10,000 clicks. Let's just say we still have the 5% conversion rate, 5% click-through rate. We have a 5% click-through rate, that's 500 clicks. Now, what happens if our conversion rate goes from 10% to 15%. Well, what's 15% of 50? I actually have no idea. I have to do some maths. 15% of 500, I meant. That's 75. So I only increase my conversion rate by 5%, which is super easy to do if you know what you're doing. Very easy to do. So just by increasing my conversion rate, I got an extra 25 sales. So I didn't run any extra ads to get impressions. I didn't do anything new to my cover. I just simply increased my conversion rate. I have a bunch of videos on YouTube showing you how to increase your conversion rate. But the most important thing is reviews and A+ content. If you have reviews and really good A+ content, not just any random A+ content, the correct A+ content, then your conversion rate is going to increase dramatically. I've had people comment on YouTube saying that their sales increased just from my A+ content video. I didn't even reveal anything in my A+ content video. I didn't say anything that's going to increase your conversion rate all that much. I said the absolute basic things. So if you guys actually want to see an A+ content video where I reveal everything, let me know and I'll make that. Now, 15% conversion rate is actually not all that great. My books usually have a 25% conversion rate. I know some people are going to say, no, I don't believe you. I'll show you at the end of the video. It's at least 20%. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I'll show you. So when you're scaling your business, you don't want to scale it from the top to the bottom. You always want to scale from the bottom to the top, because this is the most important bucket. The bigger this bucket is, the more money you make. Even if these two buckets are small, even if your impressions are low and your clicks are low, if your conversion rate is really high, you're still going to make a bunch of money. Now, if your conversion rate is high and then your click-through rate is also high, you're going to make even more money. Now, if your conversion rate is high, your click-through rate is high, and your impressions are high, you're basically rich. Well, not rich, but rich is different for everyone. But you can make so much money if you do these 3 steps correctly. If all these 3 buckets are at their highest performance, at their highest level, you have nothing to fear. Ads are going to work. It's basically impossible for your ads not to work if your click-through rate is super high and your conversion rate is super high, as long as you know what you're doing. Now, most of you guys have a super low click-through rate, have a super low conversion rate, probably don't even have A+ content, and then you're just running a bunch of ads, hoping that this is going to fix your business. Well, your buckets aren't even big enough to collect any data. I can't, I'm sorry, but you guys, man, it makes me so angry when people say my ads are not working. No, your ads always work. It's your book that's not working. It's your marketing that's not working. It's your book cover that's not working. It's your A+ content that's not working. It's everything else that's not working. It's not your ads. Your ads are the easiest thing. But anyway, if you want to get the most out of your business, if you have 10,000 impressions, then all you have to do is increase your click-through rate. That's going to get you more money. You can also increase your conversion rate. That's going to get you more money. And then once you do these 2 things first, then you can increase your impressions, which is going to bring you more money. Now, everything you increase affects everything else. If one thing doesn't work, everything else collapses. Everything is like a big domino effect. If you double this number, you double your sales. Super simple. If this was a 20% conversion rate, 20% of 100 is 20. If you double your click-through rate, you double your sales. 2% of 10,000, 200 clicks. And 200 clicks at 20% conversion rate is 40 sales. Now, if you double your impressions, you also double your sales. So 20,000 impressions at 2%, 2% of 20,000 is going to be 400 clicks. So everything you double when it comes to your impressions, your click-through rate, and your conversion rate, everything you double, everything you do reflects with the amount of sales. If you double your conversion rate, you just doubled your sales. You double your click-through rate, you doubled your sales. You doubled your impressions, you doubled your sales. But if you can only pick one thing to try and double, your conversion rate is the most important thing. Because this is already working, you're already getting impressions, but you're not maximizing it. It's like you have a Ferrari, but you're only taking it into 2nd gear. And then you're blaming ads. It's as if you're blaming the fuel. The fuel is the problem. No, press the little shifter. Go to 3rd gear. Stop blaming your ads and start improving your book. That's the only way you're going to make a bunch of money on KDP. I forgot that I promised you to show you my conversion rate. So can you see reported CR? So let's see. Here I got under orders. Reported conversion rate is 25%. And total conversion rate is 43.13. So I have a conversion rate just for the ads, and then I have the conversion rate for organic plus ads. But it only counts the ads clicks in the total conversion rate. It doesn't count my organic clicks because there's no way for KDP to count your organic clicks. Now, if you thought this video was helpful, the video that just popped up on your screen right now is even more helpful. Go watch that. It's going to help you so much on KDP.